Hey y'all, it's Meagan and Andy. Welcome back to the channel. Glad y'all are here today. Come spend a little time with us this evening. First thing on the list is we're gonna get a few seeds started.
Yep. Hey, and before we do that, look at this. The kids is wide open this evening. We've had storms most of the morning, so it's been real rainy and stormy and everything all the way up to about lunchtime today. And well,
I guess I've been in the house too.
Yeah, when we give the kids the go ahead to go outside, well, they are fully taking advantage of it.
Yep.
So we don't have any help with this today, but we don't much need help anyways. And
no,
they know how to put a seed in a seed tray.
Yeah. And there'll be plenty more seeds to go in the ground and in seed trays after today. So
this is just the beginning of it, ain't it?
That's right.
So before we get started, I know I've seen a few people say in the comments lately, I guess you're new around here, and they say we need a little greenhouse to start seeds in. Well, we have one. This will be actually the first time we've started seeds, ain't it?
Because we got it, end of the spring or beginning of the summer last year.
Yep.
So it was, well, the time we got it, like we didn't need it anymore.
Yeah, it was too late to start seeds at that point. And
we used to start them in the house.
Well, yeah, we had a grow light set up in the house that we got from Hoss Tools, and a heat mat and all that, which I think I'm going to use the heat mat in here. I hadn't decided yet. I might and I might not. I don't know. But anyways, we had all that set up in the house, and it worked great. Honestly, it worked very good because we could constantly keep a check on them where they were in the house. So this down here is going to be a little bit different. I know it don't sound like a lot, but you know, we're going to have to make an extra effort to come down here and check this, like probably multiple times a day.
Well, luckily though, it's right beside where you park your truck when you get home.
Yeah, it's really close to everything, so it should be fine. But you know how fast seeds can dry out, so let's see what we got going on here. See, look, Megan, that stuff still ain't soaked up to water. So we've got this potting soil here from
the Dollar General,
the famous DG.
Yeah.
And this is the most hydrophobic stuff I've ever seen. It's been soaking now forever. Yeah. And it still ain't soaked up to water.
Why is that?
Well, it's so dry when it's in a bag, I guess it just takes forever to get everything wet. I don't know.
Should we stir it up?
This is about the worst I've ever seen it, though. I hope it does good. And see, look, right there.
Oh yeah, look,
it's dry.
It's dry right there what I just flipped out.
It will not take water, but if it ever starts taking water, well then you're golden. It's good to go.
Well, maybe I should get a little stick and stir it.
Well, we can try to speed it up some. I had it soaking thinking that by the time we got started to plant them, it would be fine, but evidently it ain't.
This goes to show you, buy your potting soil from probably a reputable source.
Well, I'm not going to say.
Do as we say, not as we do.
It's normal for it to have to take forever to soak up water. Well, it'll probably help some. Then I'll just put some more water back on top of it. But by now, I'm starting to think maybe we should have done this morning. So while Megan is trying to get this to soak up some water, I want to show y'all our nifty little seed trays here. They having a time. They just a hollering on them things. So these are something that I probably would have never bought because they're so expensive. I've looked at them at Tractor Supply before. That's where these came from Tractor Supply. And they are the burpee, which they have several different sizes. This is just what we ended up with. They got this water tray to catch the water on the bottom, and then your seed tray goes down the top. And these are a bigger size, which I like because you don't have to transplant your plants quite as fast. So you can leave them in the cell tray a lot longer. And they got these little rubber bottoms on them to help push the plant out when it's time to plant it. I really like these.
But don't think it's something you gotta have to start seeds.
No, you don't have to have them, but we got lucky enough that a friend of ours, somehow or another,
he's good friends with the people at Tractor Supply.
Yeah, he's got connections at Tractor Supply, I guess you could say. And they sold him, like, he bought these, what was it, the end of summer?
Yeah.
Well, anyways, he bought like a whole truckload of supplies from Tractor Supply, including seeds and all these seed trays. And they were nice enough to give them to us. So instead of letting them give them to us, we worked out a little bit of a trade. I think, what did we owe him?
Some butter.
Some butter, yeah. We told him we'd trade him some butter whenever we start making butter again. But anyways, I thought that was a pretty cool deal, and now that they actually have some, I mean, these are pretty neat. But they are expensive, though, because I've looked at them in Tractor Supply several times. I feel like you make a mess.
Probably am.
Oh, it's full of water, so yeah, it would, if we just left it alone, it would eventually soak it up. But that ain't no way we can plant that right now. So, if you're wondering why you want to wet your dirt first, and I guess a lot of people may not know this, let me show you one of these trays real quick. Let me have that. So if I put my seed down in this in the dry dirt and then went back to water it, my seed's just going to float to the top in that water there. I hope y'all can see that. And where this dirt, where it was in a bag and it's hydrophobic, which means it won't soak up the water the way it's supposed to. Well, that's just not what you want. It's not good at all to have it like that. And you don't want your seed to float to the top like that either, and then it'll uncover it. If you can get that dirt, or I keep saying dirt, if you can get that soil moist before you ever start to plant your seeds in it, well then everything will just work a whole lot better. The water will drain out of it a lot quicker instead of ponding up on top of it like that. And it'll also be moist around that seed, because you don't want it to be dry around that seed.
Well, the seed's got to have moisture all the way around it.
Right.
And this dirt's got to touch it. And if it's dry, it ain't going to touch it.
Right. So it's got to be wet all over. Because you want 100% of moist dirt surrounding that seed. You don't want it to be surrounded by little dry pockets inside of it. But I think this right here is about the hardest to get moist I've ever seen.
I'm pretty sure we've bought the potting soil from there before, too.
Have we?
Maybe not like at the beginning, but like at some point or another.
Well, we've got some other soil in here, I think. We might ought to just use that. Right here's some seed starting mix, Miracle Grow seed starting mix. Maybe we should have used this. I'll fill up one of these and see how quick it takes. I don't know, this is so dry too, it may take forever for it to moisten up. See if I can do this without blowing it away. I need my mister nozzle in here.
Where's it at?
Laying right over there. That ain't taking up water either. Well, we'll find out right here real quick if there's a big difference between the Miracle Grow dirt and the dollar store brand dirt. So I'll show you what we're going to get started today while this is all soaking up. We've got some herbs, we got basil, cilantro, and parsley. And the reason we're starting what we're starting today is because it's slower growing stuff.
Yeah, like our tomatoes and stuff like that, we won't start that for another few weeks.
Yeah, it'll be a while. Then we've got jalapenos, bell peppers. This is a Mad Hatter pepper. Then we've got some habaneros, cayennes, and Gold Rush banana peppers.
Those Gold Rush are the ones, remember the banana peppers last year? They were like...
Yeah, that was something you liked a lot.
This long. They were huge. We are seed hoarders, so...
Hey, I was looking a while ago, and I have seeds in there that I know we've had at least 5 or 6 years. Yep. And chances of them, I mean, they may still be good. It depends on what the seed is.
It is hot in here.
Yeah, it's warm.
I might have to put me a t-shirt on. See, it's getting there.
It is. I think it's going to be best just to let it soak now for a little while. We'll come back to this here, and we'll give it several minutes.
What you going to go do?
I don't know.
I need to go milk Candy.
Do you?
If it's close to 3 o'clock.
I have no idea what time it is.
Go ahead and do that.
It's 2:46.
By the time I get done with that.
You want to go try it? Maybe they'll be soaked up by then. I would have done this hours ago if I'd have known.
What does this look like?
It's getting there, but
it's the same way.
It's the same way. Yeah, there's your Miracle Grow.
See, it's
seed starting mix.
Dry in the middle and just floating.
Then there's the dollar store seed starting mix. It's still got a ways to go. Underneath in the water tub, I mean, there's plenty of water down there for it to soak up. So, I say we just give it a little while and see what happens.
Sounds like a plan. Well, I'll go get my buckets ready and we can do that. That should give it time. We'll check on it then.
This should be a good reminder to anybody fixing to start your seeds. Make sure you wet your soil down way before you start to put them in there.
We always have to get back in the swing of things.
I know.
Every year.
I know. My attitude is to just jump into it and just go at it.
Do it right now.
Sometimes you got to sort of plan out some of this stuff, I guess.
Come on, cows. Woo!
Come on, Candy. Come on.
Come on, girl.
Patience is key, ain't it?
Yep.
Tiger, get out of the way.
Tiger don't usually bother her. She don't care.
Better than he did last time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she's fine. Good girl. You know what to do, don't you? You give her a treat for me?
Yeah, I gave her one. She is so sweet. Right?
Yeah, she's a good cow.
Really good.
You getting it now.
I don't know. You put the treats in the wrong place, Dad.
We got a total of 5, 6, 7 eggs today. They really have picked up. It's amazing what a little sunshine and warm weather will do for your chickens. Rain's got everything swelled up. Won't work right. So it's been probably about an hour now, if not longer. It may have been longer. And anyways, the soil was sitting in these pots here. I've come down here and messed with it several times. It never would soak up water. So what I found worked. I dumped it all out into a bucket, put water in it, and I'm able to mix it up like this right here. And it's getting everything soaking wet. So maybe that's a tip right there for y'all. If you've got some potting soil or seed start mix or anything that is repelling water, put it in something like this where you can work it. And seems to be working really good. It's too wet now. All right. Well, let's get some of this into our trays, and we'll see if we can't get the seeds planted. I ended up mixing, when I dumped it all back out, it mixed the Miracle Grow soil in with the Dollar General soil, so we're not going to get no good comparison on that. And I've got it too wet right now, but that should be fine because it's going to drain. At least it should drain. And that won't be an issue. Okay, there's one of them full. Alright, I've got these 4 trays here filled up with some finely wet dirt. Excuse me, wet potting soil. It's the seed starting mix. I'll get it right here in a minute. Alright, so first I'm going to do my peppers. And I'm just going to tell you, you ain't got to have a whole lot of peppers, at least if you're just doing for your personal consumption. So, as long as they all come up. So a pepper seed's pretty small. So I just found me a little old stick. I'm going to dabble me a hole right there in the middle. You know what? As wet as that soil is now, I think I'm going to take that tray off. Because that's holding water. Well, the better option would have been for us. We've got some really fine compost up here that's been made for quite some time. And it probably would have been better to have used that instead of this. But hindsight's 20/20, and we did not do that. So here we are. However, if this doesn't give us good results, that's what we'll end up doing. I just realized I need to make a mental note of what's going in where. Because I'm not going to know. I got 2 empty cells right here. I'm going to put a cayenne pepper in that because we don't need very many cayenne peppers at all. One plant will give you several peppers. The good thing is even though I'm probably not going to know what I've got planted where, peppers are somewhat recognizable from, different types of peppers. So chances are that I'll at least have an idea if it's a hot pepper or if it's a sweet pepper.
Alright, tonight for supper we're going to be having a delicacy around here. Pork backbone. It is so good. A lot of people, may not think about using the backbone, but if you get a pig processed or you process it yourself and you don't make bone-in pork chops, you're going to have a nice backbone left that's got some good meat on it. So don't throw that out. It's really good, and I'm going to show you a good way to cook it. Now, this is from 2023, so these are not from this year's pigs. We cut them a little too thick. Don't much. I realized that after the fact. So the backbone from this year is not nearly as thick as this, and but I'm gonna show you how I cook these pieces. I've got them good and seasoned with some salt, pepper, and just some blackened seasoning. Now we're gonna put them in the pan and get a decent sear on that meat. And I'm also gonna fix just some canned potatoes and black-eyed peas to go with it.
But right here we've got 2 cayennes, we got 3 bells, and 3 Mad Hatters. So let's set that over to the side for now. Let's do the next one. So next we have jalapenos. Alright, jalapenos. What I'm going to do on these is we'll have 4 jalapeno plants here. The good thing is I have this video to reference back to if I do get to questioning what's where. And then we're going to plant 4 habaneros. Some of them seeds don't look good. They're opened up. They may not be good. These are some old seeds. I'm going to put 2 in each hole just in case.
These are just some bacon chunks from when we made our bacon. Some of the end pieces that I cut up there. I'm just going to let those black-eyed peas simmer.
But you know what? If they don't come up and they don't make anything, it's not the end of the world, because luckily we have a greenhouse not too far from us that sells really high quality plant starts. And if this right here fails, we might not exactly get the varieties we want, but we can at least get us some peppers. We haven't done banana pepper yet. Let's plant, since Meagan likes those so good, I'm going to plant 4 of those too. And then the rest I plant will all be herbs, I think. Yeah. Okie dokie. Peppers are done. So we'll remember that the one with the one that's in the same tray as the herbs are banana peppers. Now, yeah, these herb seeds here, these are all brand new. I believe she just picked these up the other day. So this one is parsley. Those are some tiny seeds.
We're also going to be making a peach cobbler, so I'm going to get that started. So I've got roughly maybe a cup of frozen peaches. These are some of the peaches off of our tree last year. Sprinkle them with a little sugar.
Those look about like a carrot seed. Which, speaking of carrots, we should probably get to planting some of those pretty soon too. Got one more tray. And we've got cilantro and basil. Oh man, the cilantro seeds are big. I always forget. Y'all, that wind is doing it. It is whipping like crazy. Then we got these little bitty tiny basil seeds here. Wow. I'm just going to plant 2 basils. I found a pack of deal. These are also old seeds packaged for 2022. But I bet you they still come up. Deal's pretty easy anyways. So if they don't come up, I'll just throw some down on the ground and they'll come up wherever I throw them.
Now for our batter for our cobbler. While those peaches are cooking down a little bit, we're going to need a cup of self-rising flour, a cup of sugar, a cup of milk, and a half a cup of melted butter. Melted butter. Let's get our batter all mixed together. It's going to be lumpy. That's normal. Alright, pour that in our pan. I'll lay these little guys back down. And we're just going to let them finish in the oven. Alright, our peach mixture, juice and all. Going right on top of our cobbler. We'll stick that in the oven for around 20-ish minutes and then check on it. I've got my oven sitting on 425 for the backbone, so we'll just check on it in about 20 minutes.
All right. So their new home is going to be right here. In the past, this type of stuff right here is what we've always used to start our seeds in. And, you know, these are just the containers you go, when you go to the box store, the greenhouse or whatever, that's usually what they come in. And we just always save them and use those for our seeds. But I think I'm going to like these little doohickeys right here. So this nozzle right here, on this particular wand, you can screw the nozzle off. This is a Dram brand nozzle. I'll try to post a link to one of these on Amazon because this thing puts out the best shower for watering plants of any nozzle I've ever used. But this is what I use when we're doing seed starts. Now this is a mister nozzle. It's called Foggett. And I think they make 2 or 3 different mist patterns. You can get a heavier mist or a finer mist. But it actually looks like I'm going to have to clean mine out before we use it probably. I don't know. We'll try it and see. But they do get clogged up very easy. So they have a screen in them. But that screen don't always do the job. But anyways, this works great for... Oh, the washer stayed. This works great for seed starts because you're not blowing all that water pressure to where you'll wash all your seeds out. We got a leak. See there? So only one of my misters, 2 of my misters are working. That bottom one must be stopped up. I'll have to take it apart. But you can just do that right there. And it gently washes gently waters them. And this is what I'll use to water them until I start having some pretty decent growth on them. So that way I'm not beating up the little tender plants. I really got to fix this water hose. This thing's leaking. The main thing with starting seeds is make sure, like I can't stress it enough, make sure that these things never dry out. You don't want them too wet either, but you definitely don't never want them to get dry, because if that seed dries out during the germination stage, it's dead. And I don't think for now I'm going to use these bottom water trays. I think once they start growing and they start really using up some water, I'll put those on there. But for now, I'm going to leave them just like that. So we've got good drainage. So hopefully the seed will stay wet or moist, but not stay wet. But anyways, there's our first seed starts for 2025. I'll tell you, in some ways, I kind of can't believe it's already here. In other ways, I feel like it's been a long winter. So, but I don't know. Either way, it's coming. So we might as well get ready for it.
Throw some salt and pepper in my peas. Throw some butter in my canned potatoes. The good thing about canned potatoes is they're already cooked, so I don't have to worry about the potatoes getting done. I just got to season them a little bit the way we like them. And as simple as that. I had somebody ask in a video the other day, wanting to know a story about behind some more of my cast iron. This little pan you just saw me pour that cornbread out of was actually my great-grandpa's little cornbread pan. And I never knew him, I never met him, but I like to think that he may be smiling down, knowing this little cornbread pan's still getting used.
But before I go back up to the house, Meagan should be working on supper right now, so it's probably getting pretty close to it being finished. I I do want to show you a little quick tour of the greenhouse here, even though it's a little bitty. I think this thing's a 10 by 10. You know, we got a lot packed in here, so I thought I'd show you what all we got. And I'll show you something else I've done to help out with the next time I try to start seeds, is I just squirted water down in those bags there, and hopefully that'll help moisten it all up, and then we still got that soil right there. Anyways, we've got the seeds we just planted. We got our aloes and all this. All this was up there in our house because we was having trouble keeping this greenhouse above freezing with the terribly cold temperatures we've had. So we've moved everything back down here now because I think at this point we should be out of the teens and stuff that we've been having. Like, we shouldn't have any more of that. And if we do happen to have a freak night that's down in the teens, then we'll just move everything back to the house. But these are ferns we had hanging on our porch. I put them in here to overwinter. I cut them back, and you can see they're starting to put out some new growth down in there. Then we got the big monster aloe plant right there. That's the mama to all these aloes, which they don't look that great where they've been in the house. They needed to be back out here getting a little bit of sun. This is some just random house plants we had that lost all their leaves, but don't think they're dead. This is some ivy, if it would have focused, but there's buds coming out on it, so I don't know. We'll see if they live or not. This is a lime tree. It lost all of its leaves back when we got really cold, and this is a lemon tree, and it also lost all of its leaves, but both of them are putting out new growth. All their buds are opening up. We got some new growth right there. And then the rest of this is just a bunch of random house plants. To keep it above freezing in here, we do have this heater right here. This is just like an Eden Pure style heater. You can see I've got it. It's 65 in here now, which that's down low. And that's one thing I've noticed about this greenhouse where it's got the 10 sides on it. You get down here below these shelves, this down in here is a lot cooler than up in here. As you can see, that thermometer right there says it's 72. And it's heating up really, really fast in here since I've shut that door. But yeah, that's a big difference between the bottom of the greenhouse and up here is the heat. And of course heat rises too. Like, I'm starting to sweat now that I've shut that door. But that thing, as long as your nights don't get terribly cold, it does a pretty good job of keeping it warm in here. What ended up happening was our breaker on the barn down here, well, something happened and we lost power to the barn, and that's where I've got it plugged in at. And anyways, I think we've got that fixed, but when it got those cold nights, we just didn't trust it, so we took everything up to the house. But I believe at this point, we should be good. I guess that's that for all the work in the greenhouse. I'll have to be sure to come down here and keep a good check on these. But I'm finally liking the way that soil looks. It's starting to look like soil instead of dust.
Give it another flip. And we're going to go through and put some barbecue sauce on it and leave it just a little bit longer. If you've never had pork backbone, it's one of them kind of things you just don't knock it till you try it. Is that right, Peter?
That's exactly right. Especially the way you're doing it right there.
Yeah, you like it this way, don't you?
Yep. Yep, 20 minutes was about right on that.
Yeah, it's brown on the edges there, which I know it don't show up good with this fluorescent light. I have found through the years that if I let it get brown on top and I don't take it out when it's brown around the edges and just bubbly on top, it gets real gummy. That's the best way I know how to explain it. For me anyway, and we don't like it that way. So, yeah, there we go. Alright, we got backbone, black-eyed peas, canned potatoes, and cornbread.
It looks really good. I got the seeds done.
Did you?
The dirt or the soil finally acted like soil instead of dust.
I finally gave up on it, y'all. I told him, I said, I got to go fix something.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was kind of aggravating until I figured out if I mixed it. Now, when I mixed it up in the bucket, it worked.
It was fine.
It worked really good. So, from now on, I'll know that's what I need to do, I guess. I ain't never seen none that hard to get hydrated.
I made this cornbread the way you like it, so
Did you?
give her a real piece.
I will. That looks good right now. That right there, that's my kind of eating. I'm gonna give y'all a close up. Look at that. Ain't that pretty?
That right there, what you call down home eating.
Yeah, that's kind of eating that puts meat on your bones, ain't it? Obvious.
Well, I guess we're going to sit down and eat us a bite of supper. But anyways, guys, I hope y'all enjoyed the video today. Thank you for watching, and till we see y'all on the next one.
Y'all have a good one.
Have a good one.